Welcome back to another video, guys. This is going to be a shorter video than usual. I only trained twice this week because I had to fly out for GPC Nationals on Thursday because my missus was competing on Friday. So spent all day Thursday traveling to Newcastle, getting settled into the hotel, all that sort of stuff. So no real time to train. And then Friday, obviously, I was handling her while she was competing, so didn't really get to train then either. Pretty happy though, like good to have a little bit of a break. My body was feeling beat up at this stage as we're at the very end of my off season. The initial plan was to get some B-roll sort of footage of GPC Nationals for this video, but I ended up just completely forgetting about filming anything. Helping the missus on the day pretty much took priority. Had a good time up in Newcastle though. The comp was really well run, and yeah, the missus did well, came third in her class, so really proud of her. So bench for my last session of the off season was 215 kilos for 2 sets of 4. Felt really strong going into this session actually, and it's probably the first session in the last month where I've actually done the prescribed sets and reps that I'm supposed to. If you've been following along, I keep butchering the top sets, mainly the first one and then somehow getting it on the second one. Not really a concern though. Again, in my off season, I'm trying to make these as hard as possible, so no real leg drive. So to still be hitting the weights that I'm hitting, I'm still really happy. I hit 215 for a 2x2 in my last prep, so proper comp setup and everything. And pretty much all 4 of these reps for both sets still moved faster than that set in my last prep. So that's a good indication that the off season worked. I'm bigger and stronger. So getting back into a proper comp setup, my bench should be flying really. I'm hoping to take somewhere around that 227 kilo mark as an opener this time around, leading into big dogs. The fact that I incline benched 500 pounds really means that it should be there as an opener for my flat bench, and then we'll just take some decent jumps and hopefully hit a really good number of big dogs. So just a back down set of 175 kilos for 8. This is a close grip setup. We're definitely going to be pushing close grips and other heavy tricep work during my prep. At the moment, my shoulders and my chest are as strong as they've ever been by far. The next part will just be getting my triceps to be able to keep up with the rest of the pressing stuff that I'm doing. Now, squats. I was actually kind of cooked coming into this session. Last week I deadlifted 340 on a stiff bar for a single, but I really wasn't happy with my technique. I felt like there was a lot left to be desired. I actually ended up coming in, so I did that 340 kilo deadlift on Friday. I ended up coming in the next day, Saturday, to just do some technique work, but I ended up working up to a 320 kilo deadlift just to see if some of the changes I made were actually effective. And they kind of were, so there's a few things I'm going to play with. I made some notes on what I think were the most effective little changes from that session. And obviously I didn't get to deadlift this Friday because I was in Newcastle, but next Friday when I believe prep starts, I'll be able to implement them and then see how that goes. So coming into the session, I was feeling pretty cooked. My lower back, my hips, all that sort of stuff were just a bit tight, a bit sore. Didn't feel the strongest going into this session, but as the warm-ups went on, I started to get a bit more confident in my ability to actually execute the top set. I was planning on doing like a little picture-in-picture thing where you can actually see my depth, because I monitored my depth really well this session. Considering I'm still used to heels and not barefoot shoes, I'm really happy with my depth on all my sets. And at the moment, I'm pretty confident going into wraps that I'll still be able to hit depth. The sets and reps themselves, they do feel better in flats. And like I said, I'm just hoping that again in wraps that they feel just the same. I'll monitor depth all the way through my prep so I don't have to worry about it. Because the last thing I want again is it doesn't matter how good the squats feel if my depth is nowhere near where it needs to be. So I'll monitor that closely. There's a few people in the gym that I really trust, to be honest, about my depth when I'm squatting, and I'll just get them to watch over some of my top sets and see how we go. I took my usual just plate jumps, just the fastest and easiest way. Did a bit more reps. I don't know if I got all of them on camera. Did a few extra warm-up sets just to make sure my hips, groin, all of that was just feeling a bit better, and it worked. Like I said before, as the warm-ups went on, the better I felt. So again, another plate jump from 280 kilos to 330. This was my last warm-up. I'm getting more and more confident taking squats, into the 300s with no spotters. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that I don't need spotters for this, and it just helps with a bit of confidence. But again, monitoring my depth with the phone, you can probably see on the right-hand side of the screen. Happy with that depth. Probably could have sunk that maybe an inch or two more, but when you actually watch it from the side, it actually really wasn't that bad. But again, after rewatching it, I knew that I wanted to sink to this 360. I really didn't want to look back at this and be annoyed that I didn't hit the depth I felt was required. I know I was strong enough that if I do hit my depth, even if I sink it, I'll stand up. So again, just tried to make sure, absolutely sink it and stand up. I'll let it play in the background, but this is actually a 20 kilo PB for my Band squats. I actually compared this 360 to the 340 I did for the Pro Raw prep, and they're basically the same speed. This one I think I actually lock out a little bit sooner, so it's a big positive. So big brace, nice and controlled it to the hole. You can see that I sort of just dipped my hips under. I recorded the depth on the side as well, and really happy with it. Good way to send off my off season before prep starts next week. Thanks for watching, guys.